What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning back in. And now here we are. It is day 2 of the FTC versus Microsoft Activision. Day 1 was all about the FTC's powerful evidence with Bethesda ZeniMax as some idea of what Microsoft is going to do with Activision. And now here we are, day 2. The FTC is wanting this round to be all about Xbox versus PlayStation. And amidst all the chaos, the FTC wants to keep their ducks in a row, and alongside the binder of questions that they have for Sarah Bond, for whatever reason, they reached out to the CMA and that one person that put out a tweet about keeping Call of Duty on their PS5, and they probably asked them to borrow it because they brought a PS5 to the proceedings. Yep, right there. Not making it up. Amidst all the court paperwork, there's a PS5. God, it's great to see our taxpayer dollars at work. So, keeping up with the tone that the FTC wanted to set, Microsoft decided to reveal the evidence that they had against Sony PlayStation and a little bit of a discussion Jim Ryan had. Now, it's only been speculated up until now on exactly what Microsoft had to prove that Jim Ryan was not worried about exclusivity when it came to Call of Duty, but that was finally revealed today. Contradicting Sony's claims, Microsoft revealed an email exchange between Sony's PlayStation chief Jim Ryan and Chris Deering, former CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment. In the email, Ryan stated that he believed Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard was not about locking games as Xbox exclusives. This revelation contradicts Sony's arguments that it fears Microsoft would make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox or sabotage the PlayStation version of the game. And to make sabotage an even more interesting topic, during the questioning of Phil Spencer, he revealed that Sony held back the PS5 dead kits ahead of the console launch, and this, as he said, put them behind on development for Minecraft on the PS5. And so the FTC claims Microsoft fought back by not providing a Minecraft PS5 optimized version, as if by some chance Microsoft was somehow to ask the FTC to borrow that amazing crystal ball that gets passed around, and they were able to know exactly what the console was capable of without a dev kit. Love just the line of thinking that's going on here in these court proceedings. But going back to the emails, it's definitely a point of subject for everybody to take note that Sony had spent a large amount of time flying around to all the different regulatory groups of the world. We know the meeting in Brussels, Jim Ryan went over and had lunch with the FTC. All these conversations took place. The whole time, Sony, PlayStation, Jim Ryan, they all put up this great big crybaby fit that Microsoft was going to take away Call of Duty from them and that they would be fundamentally hurt because PlayStation doesn't have anything to be able to compete with Call of Duty. By Microsoft highlighting Sony's knowledge through this email exchange, it suggests that Sony was aware of Microsoft's intentions to maintain games on PlayStation and viewed the acquisition as part of Microsoft's broader strategy. Microsoft has seized upon this knowledge to argue that Sony's opposition to the deal is aimed at protecting its dominant position in the market rather than genuine concerns about exclusivity. And that's where Microsoft offered long-term deals for Call of Duty, with initially offering a 3-year extension for the Call of Duty on PlayStation, which Sony considered inadequate. And in an effort to address Sony's concerns, Microsoft eventually proposed a 10-year deal. However, Sony has yet to even agree to this offer, indicating that Microsoft has at least made an attempt to make some kind of a deal with PlayStation, and it's PlayStation's fault at this point for not wanting to cooperate in any way. And this goes back to PlayStation, Jim Ryan, has just been causing interference in the deal for no other reason than to protect market dominance, which at this point, in my opinion, is coming off damn right monopolistic and controlling. I know there's going to be some people that are going to get up in arms with what I'm about to say, but in my opinion, it's damn true that PlayStation has lost any ability to properly be competitive, creative, or innovative because they literally just prefer to do things the easy way without having to put very much effort into anything. They would rather just do what they have to do to keep their position rather than competing for their position. And all they just do is keep people small by any means necessary and stifling out any competition that might rear its ugly head, because PlayStation does not want to have to do anything above and beyond what they're already doing to stay in the position that they're in. So keeping with today's narrative set by the FTC, Microsoft wanted to continue undermining Sony's claims by stating that they argue that there is no evidence to support the FTC's central theory that Xbox will take Call of Duty away from PlayStation. They point to Jim Ryan's email as an indication that Sony acknowledges Microsoft's commitment to multi-platform availability. But to make this even more ironic and funny, the FTC is the only government regulatory group in the world that has any concerns about Call of Duty exclusivity and negative harm to the console market. The CMA may have blocked the deal over in the UK, but they even said that they were not worried about Call of Duty exclusivity in the console market. It was all about the cloud market for them, and not one regulatory group, again, other than the FTC, is worried about some Call of Duty exclusivity thing with the console market. But Microsoft did not want to stop casting doubt on Sony's motivations, suggesting that Sony's opposition to the acquisition is driven by a desire to protect its dominant market position rather than concerns about exclusivity. By revealing the email exchange and emphasizing Sony's knowledge of Microsoft's intentions, Microsoft aims to raise questions about Sony's motivations and credibility in even opposing the deal. What really goes against Sony PlayStation's Jim Ryan's credibility a lot during these proceedings is, in my opinion, a big example in the fact that Phil Spencer was physically there on the stand being questioned by the FTC. Phil Spencer has made a history of being the face of the Xbox brand, and anytime there is negative problems, Phil Spencer has always been right there to take them head on and answering the tough questions. But Jim Ryan, once again, loves to hide, loves to run his mouth and not having to compete in a physical presence. So what did Jim Ryan do? Was he there? No. Was he going to be questioned live via video chat? No. It was a pre-recorded disposition that was shown at the proceedings because Jim Ryan did not want to even take the time to even be there in a video call. It just shows exactly how important this is to him because he didn't even want to really show up. Well, this was just the half of some of the stuff that took place on the day 2 proceedings. I do plan to have another video coming up to give out the other half and how it turned into an even bigger train wreck. And if you really want to stay tuned for that, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below on this channel. As always, please feel free to explore my channel. Also check out the end card here and view my latest video. And I also have to always remind everybody that no matter what in this crazy little console war, avoid whatever you have to do, because even the FTC is wanting to bring this whole console war into the limelight of the US Supreme Court. And that's why we just have to keep on saying it, that no matter what anybody says, play the games you love on the platform you prefer. I am Centurion 1307, and thank you for watching.